Who is Hungrybox? Man, wow, that's a good question.
Hungrybox is a legendary Melee player. That's who he is.
One of the 5 gods of Melee, Hungrybox has indeed carved out his own spot in the pantheon of Super Smash Bros. Melee players. One moment in particular stands out, however, his unbelievable win over another Melee god, Armada, at EVO 2016. And the road to get there took about a year and a half. In the Smash Bros community, Juan Hungrybox Bedima has a household name who famously, or infamously, depending on who you ask, specializes in Jigglypuff.
He plays Jigglypuff, the Jigglypuff player of all time, I would say.
Like, he wasn't always as celebrated by the scene. His success wasn't always as celebrated because he played Jigglypuff, who was kind of considered to be this, like, you know, slower character, and sometimes he would stall you out, you know, and that's something that's been kind of riffed on.
Oh, back air. Oh, that's gonna be it. Yeah, he's double back air out there.
Wow, and look at
him.
Mewtwo King is so upset right now.
Jigglypuff is just a problem character, and Hungrybox takes all the things that, you know, are powerful about the character and takes them to the next level.
You know, Hungrybox, from time to time in his career, I would say he was not afraid of using these strategies where he would basically say, you know, we're not even fighting right now. I am going to just make it so that we don't get to fight.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Motherfucker really did spot dodge, spot dodge, spot dodge.
And I think a lot of people had problems with that because people want to believe that Super Smash Bros. Melee is very kind of fast-paced and very, very expressive. And I think people saw that style of Jigglypuff play as kind of being antithetical to the kind of that exciting nature.
Who the fuck threw this? You know how hard I work on here?
Despite drawing ire from the crowd at times, Hungrybox was a top-tier player. Outside of his niche character pick, he also built a reputation and a following for showing up whenever it mattered most.
Kind of love him or hate him, he's brought some really awesome moments to competitive play because he had this aura around him of being extremely clutch, and when his back was against the wall, he would make these really kind of insane comebacks.
Because Hungrybox was in the upper echelon of Melee players, all while balancing school, work, and Melee, he was coined one of the 5 gods of Melee, alongside Mango, PPMD, Mewtwo King, and of course, Armada. While all these players traded blows back and forth, the games between Armada and Hungrybox were something else.
What? How is he so clutch?
I don't know.
Adam Armada Lindgren, in his own right, was carving his own legend in the Melee scene.
Down smash gets 2 hits. Nair, that's gonna be it. That was the quickest grand finals I have seen. Shoutouts to Armada, making it look easy.
He often played with his signature leather jacket on, combined with a calm and stoic demeanor he carried, while he crafted a playstyle all of his own.
Armada was just meticulous and clean and pristine. He kind of pushed everything in the direction of ensuring his own win. You know, he wanted to be prepared for everything. He wanted counterplay for everything. And he is an incredibly hard worker. Yeah. Armada is a pure competitor.
He brought a level of like professionalism to the game that I just don't think we had before him.
As the Melee community grew bigger and stronger, the scene secured a spot at EVO 2013, the cream of the crop of fighting game tournaments.
And there it is, the up smash one. Mango has come all the way back.
The rivalries between the 5 gods began to blossom over the next few years, and targets started appearing on their backs for new and mainstay players. One of the highlights from 2015 to 2016, however, was Armada versus Hungrybox. Hungrybox was such a pain for Armada that he actually forced him to pick a new character.
I mean, they do have a storied rivalry. It goes all the way back to the Peach Jigglypuff days, and then Armada went Young Link for Hungrybox, and then eventually Armada started playing Fox.
If you're making a character switch like that, it's got to be a very conscious, like very pained decision, because you're saying, you know, I'm going to sacrifice practicing with my main character to kind of reset, you know, to start from zero. And that is a sacrifice Armada was willing to make or felt like he had to make for Hungrybox. So I have to imagine there was a lot of, that had to have been a very belabored decision for him.
2015 overall was a very good year for Armada. Apex, Sandstorm, CEO 2015, the Big House 5 all went in Armada's way when he faced Hungrybox.
I think that these two players had an arms race over many years. To me, when an arms race happens, it means that both people are motivated to push further, and you get pushed, but you push back. So I have to imagine that both players were very frustrated with each other, and they pushed each other to, refine how they were going to approach the matchup each and every time. I felt like there was preparation going into each set when those two players met, and I don't think that's super common to really see it and feel it.
He has to play pretty much immaculate to not get hit right now, but man, HBox, see, when Armada plays the platforms, HBox is all over him.
I think that is it. Congratulations to Hungrybox making history here on European soil.
I've never felt this. Lewis, my coach, he drove up from Orlando to Jacksonville and stayed with me for a week. Coached me and explained to me and analyzed our matches because I don't have the ability to analyze, but he does. God, I'm crying a lot. I'm sorry.
I think at the time we probably assumed that Armada was just a cut above because Armada was always in contention for first best, and Hungrybox was not in contention for first best for the majority of his career.
Armada always kind of done really well in the head-to-head matchup with Hungrybox. Again, I think that his playstyle is just an excellent playstyle for the matchup. And it did kind of feel in some ways like, Hungrybox would have to sort of make plays looking back. Like it feels like in that matchup, like if nothing remarkable happens, Armada would win. Whereas Hungrybox would need one or two big haymakers, at least in the set to kind of turn things around. And I would say that totally came true at EVO 2016.
Hungrybox ended 2015 on a high note and went toe-to-toe with Armada in the first half of the year to get the Grand Finals rematch at EVO 2016, despite a lopsided 2015 against Armada and a 2-0 loss at EVO 2015.
Armada has taken EVO for the first time.
For the Melee community in particular, I would say that EVO has a special place in our history. And whoever was to win EVO, it would be the most seen by folks outside of the community, which gives it an extra legitimacy over the tournaments that are more inside the community.
But very surreal. Certainly extremely surreal.
Also on the biggest stage, literally in the middle of the stage at Mandalay Bay. That's got to be the hot seat if there ever is one. And being in the losers bracket, facing opponents like Mango, like Plup, where even if you win, you have to beat Armada in 2 sets. That is a mental challenge, no question.
But there were basically 2 timelines, right? It was like, it felt like Mango would, Mango Armada would have been a likely scenario, and that easily could have happened if Mango took the set. And I think that would have also been extremely dramatic. Or, Hungrybox Armada was just such a common grand finals at that time. It was not that surprising.
It was definitely a day where if anybody had ever shortchanged Hungrybox for the Melee community to do what Hungrybox had just done to Armada on that stage, we know that that's an unquestionable accomplishment. So it's a critical building block in our history and of the legacy of Armada and Hungrybox, definitely, in their rivalry. Community would not be the same without those 2 players.
I can tell you right now, it is the first time I felt that way, where I watched Hungrybox win and he did this comeback, and I was like, no, that was actually like the haters have to be completely quiet on this one. It was just amazing. And yeah, I think the way he did it, the way he rose to the occasion, again, I think that the way he reset the bracket in particular was such a crazy sequence. I mean, you saw him stand up and he looks shocked, which I was shocked. I think everyone was shocked.
I guess looking back, I feel that I feel really grateful about how intense and exciting that set at EVO 2016 was. I think that it's awesome that Hungrybox, as the underdog, was able to take it from Armada, and we were able to do it on such a big stage. I feel like for the Melee community, it showed the world that we're still out here and that the game's still evolving, and that characters like Jigglypuff can perform at the top level, even against onslaughts of foxes and stuff. I'm really grateful to the top players for each of these huge tournaments where, the meta has slowly but surely been progressing because of all these players pushing themselves in the game to the limit. So thanks, Armada and Hungrybox.
Yeah. Definitely. Thanks, Armada and Hungrybox.